人とも殺せ
Go to hell. 貴様は強くない
Miller, you're okay. Thank God. We're gonna make them pay for what they've done.
World War builds off the COD 4 engine and makes it fit with the World War II setting. It was also the final Call of Duty to be set in World War II, until, well, World War II. With its unapologetic depiction of World War II, Nazi zombies, and its addicting multiplayer, World War is still one of my favorite Call of Duties, before COD was a hollow franchise. I mean, Black Ops 4 didn't even have a campaign. I mean, I know Black Ops 3's campaign was weird or something, but really? Anyways, why is World War so good, and why is it worth going back to? I was talking about how World at War has an unapologetic depiction of World War II. What I mean is that it isn't scared to show you a swastika or destruction. It could care less about your feelings. In my opinion, this is what you need for a good war story, or at least the ones trying to depict World War II in its true form. You have to have the balls to show things like the swastika, to portray it like it was. It isn't romanticizing the war, you're just a soldier left to die in Stalingrad. At least for the Russian campaign. Some way through the campaign, you'll notice that some people will begin to be unmerciful and unapologetic. They will begin to be more bloodthirsty. It doesn't matter if you agree with the Russians or Americans, but it is always good, or at least most of the time, to see more than just one side of the story. I mean, up until now, I've only really been told about the American side of the war, never any other side. Now, the game starts out with a good introduction. It gets you caught up with the war to this point. It also shows the horrors of war with real World War II footage. Aside from cool editing and footage, this intro gets you excited. I don't know why, maybe it's the music, maybe it's FDR's speech.
Members of the Senate, of the House of Representatives, yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
But whatever it is, this intro is awesome. Anyways, you play as Private Miller on the American side of the campaign and Dmitry Petrenko on the Russian side. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, like most Call of Duties, or at least the ones I've played, you have two perspectives. The Russian side and the American side. The American side mainly takes you to historical moments, like the Battle of Pulu or the Battle of Okinawa. The Russian side is more focused on taking Berlin from the Germans and taking down the Third Reich. The Russian side is more focused on story than the American side. I mean, I like the characters in the American campaign, but none of them compare to Viktor Reznov. Anyways, the game starts off as you, Private Miller, is captured by the Japanese. You get saved, given a gun, and proceed on to the Macon Island raid. As I said, the game likes to take you to historical moments like the Macon Island raid. Anyways, most of the American campaign is run and gun levels, which are perfect for co-op. And you get to play around with a lot of weird looking weapons, like this one, or this one. Anyways, you eventually get to Shuri Castle, again, a real thing, and you eventually blow it up, and the American campaign ends. The Russian side starts out as Dmitry Petrenko is in a fountain left to die by the Nazis. Fortunately, the Nazis are dumb enough to not realize that you were alive, and you meet up with Viktor Reznov. Most of the Russian campaign is heading to Berlin to take down the Third Reich. Eventually you do make it to the Reichstag and take it over, and you get to recreate this photo. After all that, how is the gameplay? I mean, you can't have a good game without good gameplay.
Dmitry Petrenko! I saw this man kill dead, time after time at the siege of Stalingrad. As long as he lives, the heart of this army cannot be broken.
I feel like I'm repeating myself, but the American side is more focused on gameplay than the Russian side in my opinion. The Russian side does have some cool parts, like when you pilot the tank, but the American side is so much more fun in that department. I mean, in one of the missions you get to use a flamethrower. Also in one of the missions you're in a plane and you have to shoot PT boats and stuff and destroy boats. And you also have to change spots and change positions, and then you have to save people who are in the water. The Russian side does have some cool parts though, as I said, the tanks, but in my opinion, my favorite mission has one of the most fun parts. First of all, you have to be stealthy and stuff and meet up with Reznov in a fountain you were left to die in. Then you have to wait for some planes for some noise while you shoot Nazis. Then later you have to be patient and try and kill an enemy sniper. Like, how awesome is that? It gets even better. You get to kill a Nazi higher up. But then you have to escape and stuff. Enough of that though, the weapons feel pretty good. Although it is hard to find American or Russian weapons in my experience. Like, come on, let me use the PPSH. Now, that isn't new for games, but what is new is... Nazi Zombies was first introduced in this game and it's become a staple, besides a few games. But this form of zombies is its simplest form. That is, after you get bored of Knock There and Toten. Speaking of Knock There and Toten, the maps in Zombies are some of my favorites, although none can compare to Kino. You get a good selection of maps, that is if you're on PC, otherwise you have to buy them. Anyways, back to what I was saying. You got a good selection. One map is set in a destroyed German building, another is set in an asylum, another set in a swamp where you have to go through mud and stuff, and then my favorite map in Zombies, there is. One of the most intriguing maps I've ever played. I mean, the first time you spawn, you get a good look at some machine through a window, but you have to turn on the power. So you play through it and then you turn on the power. Then you backtrack to the machine and you can upgrade your weapons and stuff. Oh, I almost forgot. The perks are here too. They are just things to help you survive though. Something similar to perks are the power-ups. You get them every once in a while after killing zombies. They range between very helpful, like the nuke or insta-kill, to not as helpful but still good, like the double points and max ammo. The game mode isn't all sunshine and rainbows. This mode nails the scary atmosphere. It can also be pretty stressful, especially in later rounds. Now, I'm not very good at zombies, so most of the footage is low rounds, so I am sorry. It'd be much easier if people played it, but again, the population isn't that good, especially for zombies. Anyways, back to something familiar. World at War's multiplayer was the first COD multiplayer I was addicted to. It builds off of COD 4's multiplayer and in my opinion makes it better and also enjoyable in the World War II setting. One of the bad things about playing an old game is that the population isn't that big. On PC, there are a couple servers, but most of them are TDM and are 2x XP or something like that. The multiplayer is alright on PC, but the 32v32 matches make it less enjoyable. Like, I will have just spawned and I'm dead. The Xbox version, on the other hand, is much more fun. Instead of 32v32, you get 6v6. Although, on the Xbox, the population isn't that good. But I do have a tip if you're gonna play it. When you eventually find a game, you play that or whatever. But instead of searching for a game again, you can go into the Xbox 360 menu, Messages, and go into the controller icon. There, you can join a person you already had played with. That is, if they're playing. Anyways, enough of that. The thing both versions have is the customization. You get a good selection of weapons to use, and the perk system is pretty good too. Now, the customization isn't Modern Warfare 2 level, but it is fun to mess around with, and it is great to find the best class for you. To be honest, I do not think there's a single bad map in this game. All, or at least most, give you an option for maneuverability. There are sniping positions, places to hide. They are just good maps, and fit well with the World War II setting. One thing that doesn't annoy me is that the paid maps still cost some money. Although it is not much, at least on PC you get them for free. The game modes are fun to play, and this game was the first to introduce the War game mode. Now, since it is an old game, the population isn't that good. But you can find some TDM and War if you get lucky. But this game is also one of the, if not the most balanced COD multiplayer I have ever played. Unless you're talking about the MP40. This was the first COD game to introduce a co-op campaign, and also the last from what I've played. I really wish more COD games would have a co-op campaign. The co-op is pretty good, with most of the missions being playable. Oh yeah, as I said, the running gun levels are perfect for co-op, but you aren't able to play any of the cool missions, like Black Cats or Vendetta. Anyways, the co-op runs pretty good and hardly ever lags or stutters. One thing I did notice is that the sky would sometimes not load. But I say this as a technical limitation at the time, and it doesn't make the game any less fun. There's not a lot to talk about with the co-op mode, seeing as it's mainly the same as solo. One of the things that can make it annoying is the grenade spam. I mean, grenade spam is terrible in the single player, but in co-op it's much worse. I mean, half the time me and my friend got down because of the grenade spam. Anyways, you can also play co-op online, but I never tried it. But most likely, the mode is also hanging on by a string, like multiplayer and zombies. All in all, World at War is one of the best World War II shooters out there. With its brutal depiction of World War II, its amazing zombies mode, and its addicting multiplayer. Although the game isn't as populated as it once was, The game still allows hundreds of hours to be played in the multiplayer and other things. These reasons and other things are why World at War is so good. Anyways, thanks for watching, and as always,
As long as you live, the heart of this army can never be broken.
Things will change, my friend. As heroes,